The May 23rd, 2016 meeting of the Recreation Education Committee will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Almkoffer? Here. Mr. Felder? Mr. Flegler-Mitchell? Here. Mr. Marinetti is excused. Chairman Terp?
Here.
Vice President Carbone?
Here. Is there anyone signed up for the public forum?
There is not.
Is there anyone present who is not signed up to speak who would like to address the committee at this time? The next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. You have the April 25th, 2016 minutes of the Recreation Education Committee before you. They will stand approved unless the clerk is notified by any changes by the end of the day. Rochelle Bell, Senior Environmental Planner of the Planning and Development Department, will now give a brief overview of the 2017-2022 Capital Improvement Program as it pertains to the Recreation Education Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You should all have a copy of this blue CIP report. I'm going to give you a brief introduction to how we manage this process to get to this point in the CIP. It's essentially the same every year. In the fall, we ask the departments to propose projects for inclusion in the next 6-year CIP according to guidelines established by the CIP Review Committee. The guidelines include consistency with the previous year's program, adding projects later in the CIP unless there's an urgent reason to include them earlier in the CIP. And throughout the fall, the CIP Review Committee reviews the proposed projects and makes changes based on project priority and fiscal constraints. Then in December, the committee presents the recommended CIP to the county executive. After the first of the year, the county executive presents the latest version of the CIP to the Monroe County Planning Board. And the Planning Board then prioritizes the capital year projects, meaning the first year of the CIP, which is the capital year, and then submits their recommendation for the CIP back to the county executive. We then incorporate those comments and present to you the version that you have in front of you now in May. In July, we'll have a public hearing on this proposed CIP, and then the CIP will be adopted. The capital budget, the first year of the CIP, is presented with the operating budget and adopted in December. So the sections of the CIP that are pertinent to this committee include MCC, which begins on page 11 of your copy of the CIP, the library on page 19, parks on page 45, and the zoo on page 49. I'll be happy to take questions when you get to this item on your agenda. Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is new business. Madam Clerk.
Referral 16-0165.
Moved by Legislator Almkoffer, seconded by Legislator Carbone. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Referral 16-0172.
Second.
Moved by Legislator Carbone, seconded by Legislator Almkoffer. Is there any discussion? Legislator Flegler-Mitchell.
Through you, Chair, to the administration. The increase in funding is $94,163, and the transfer is $305,510, which goes to the MCLS program fund. What services does this funding provide?
Through the chairman, the MCLS has contract services for everything from our shipping department to our IT infrastructure. It encompasses just all aspects of delivery for the Monroe County Library System, all of our service infrastructure. There are no employees of the MCLS by the county. The Rochester Public Library provides all of this through contract services.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Item carries. Are there any other matters before this committee? Seeing none, the May 23rd, 2016 meeting of the Recreation Education Committee stands adjourned. The next meeting of the Recreation Education Committee is scheduled for June 27th, 2016 at 6 p.m.